The borders to Japan are open, which means anyone from around the world can now come and see an NMB48 theater show. However, you can't just mosey on up to the theater and buy a ticket right then and there. No, there's a whole convoluted process of making an account, using that account to enter a lottery, and if you win that lottery, then and only then can you buy a ticket to the show. Of course, this process is all in Japanese. So, on this video, I'll show you how to sign up for an NMB48 theater show. First off, you'll want to go to the website ticket.akb48-group.com. Yeah, this is the website that AKB and the other groups use for their shows. But it's also the same site used for their big concerts. So if you're a fan of those groups, and you want to go to one of those big concerts someday, you'll definitely want to make an account. Though it seems SKE, HKT, and STU sell their tickets through a different platform. Click on this button at the top. The next screen will then prompt you to enter your email address. Make sure it's a real email address that you have access to, as they'll send an email with a link to a temporary login. It may take about 5 minutes for the email to arrive in your inbox, so be patient and check your spam folders in case it winds up there. Click the link in the email to go to the account registration page. You'll then enter all your information. Make sure it's real and it matches exactly as is written on your passport, which will be your primary identification. First is the space to enter a secondary email address. This is optional. Next is your name. Make sure it is in English. If you register it in katakana, you'll have to jump through some hoops to get the staff to accept your ID, because obviously your passport won't have your name written in katakana in it. So use English. The problem with this site, as well as many other Japanese websites, is they can't accept regular English names that you type into the box. They only accept full width text. To get full width text, you either need a computer from the 1980s, or you can go to Google and enter full width text converter and click the first result. Enter your name in the boxes and then copy and paste it into the name fields. The next line is your name in katakana. This is where it is acceptable to enter your name in katakana. If you don't know how to write your name in katakana, go to Google Translate and copy and paste it from there. Next is your birthday and gender. For gender, the left option is male and the right option is female. After that is your address. You'll notice here that you can toggle it to include a Japanese address or an overseas address. I'll advise you to use a Japanese address. If you have a Tenso address for handshake events, that should work, but any other address should work too. The reason I suggest using a Japanese address is because after testing this myself, the ticket site won't actually let you apply for any of the shows if you use an overseas address. You should be fine for ID check purposes because passports don't usually have addresses written on them. That said, there is a space to include your passport information. Feel free to include it if you want. Below that is where you can enter your credit card information. You can leave this blank. Next is a very important thing, and that is your Oshimen. You can pick one per group and simply select it from the drop-down menu. As you may know, your Oshimen is your favorite member or the member you support the most. This is important because it will affect your account in regards to winning shows. If your Oshimen is performing in a show, it gives you a higher chance of winning that show. We call this Oshi Karma. And now, this is all word of mouth, but apparently Oshi Karma takes about 90 days before it actually kicks in. So make sure to register your Oshi early and keep them set as your Oshi to boost your chances of winning a show. It's especially important for special shows such as their birthday show and a graduation show. Next is the check member boxes. This looks a lot like the Oshimen option, but it has no influence on winning shows. For each group, you can choose 3 other members and it'll alert you on your My page if they're performing on any upcoming shows. It's helpful, but not mandatory. Below that is your Oshi team. I'm not sure if this actually has an effect on your account, but you can just pick your favorite team. If everything looks good, click the blue button to go to the confirmation screen. If there's any problems with the stuff you entered, it'll take you back to the top and show you some red text telling you what to fix. This is often because you put your name in normal text instead of full width text. It's also affected by numbers. You have to put them in full width numbers, not regular numbers. When you fix everything, it should take you to the next screen. This is the final check screen. It reminds you that you can't change your name, birthday, or gender after submitting, so make sure that's all correct. If it looks good, hit the blue button and you'll get a confirmation that your registration is complete. It'll send you an email with your login ID and temporary password. The ID is a bunch of numbers and you can't change it, so make sure you write it down somewhere. After your account is made, it's time to apply for shows. Log into your account on the AKB Ticket Center website and go to the home page. You'll see all the upcoming shows for all the groups on this page. But if you want to limit it to NMB, click on the NMB tab at the top. Theater shows are usually announced 1 to 2 weeks in advance, so you have to plan for the short term with these shows. You can check the schedule on the ticket site to see the show dates for the upcoming week, but don't expect anything much farther beyond that. Unless there's a big concert or handshake event happening, generally there will be a theater show every day. There are multiple lottery applications that you can enter if you subscribe to the various fan club and online services. You'll see the lotteries you can enter highlighted in red, and the ones you can't enter are gray. These ones on the left are the NMB Mobile Fan Club and AKB48 Group Eizo Sako subscription. I'll explain how to sign up for those in another video. But they happen 3 days prior to the show, and you can enter both to give you extra chances to win. I highly recommend doing that. These red options are for the group lottery and the general sales lottery. This left one is for the group lottery. If you want to see a show with a friend and sit together, pick this option. One thing in mind is the group seats are in a special section on the far left of the theater. They're not great seats, and it's limited to like 10 seats or something. The right one is the general sales lottery, and is the one you'll most likely want to sign up for. Real quick though, you'll also notice this option in the middle that is gray for me. This is the lottery for girls, elementary schoolers, and middle schoolers. Because I'm a dude in his 30s, this option is not red for me. But if you fit the description, you can use this option as well. Take note that these seats are also in the same area as the group seats, but are usually the front 2 rows of the far left side. All these lotteries are at the same time, taking place 2 days prior to the show. But you can only pick one of them, so choose wisely. This option on the far right. This is the Cancel Machi Omake lottery. This is a special lottery that only NMB has. It's available from the night before until the morning of the performance. I'll talk about it more in a bit. I'll show you how to sign up using the general sales option first. Click the red general sales option and you'll be brought to this page with the 2 checkboxes. The first one is to opt in or opt out of the Cancel Machi, which is a waiting list for people who won the other lotteries but canceled. At the moment, NMB is not doing the regular Cancel Machi system. Instead, they're using the Cancel Machi Omake system I mentioned earlier. Cancel Machi Omake was originally the backup waiting list for the waiting list, but now Cancel Machi Omake is the main waiting list. So you'll want to sign for that if you're super desperate to get into a show. Anyway, for this Cancel Machi thing, you can choose to opt in or opt out, it doesn't really matter. Below Cancel Machi is the credit card payment option. Lately, NMB has been having trouble with their credit card payment system, and so they only accept cash payment at the ticket desk in the theater, so pick the right option for cash payment. After that, click the blue button to submit, and you'll be brought to a confirmation screen where you can confirm everything. If it looks good, click the blue button and submit for reals. The next screen will say your application was accepted. As you can see, the application we just did is right here. The next tab shows you the shows that you won. The tab after that is the Cancel Machi applications you won, but you won't see that for NMB. And to the far right is all the applications that you lost. You'll see a lot of your applications there. Because this is a tutorial and I'm not actually going to go to this show, I'm going to show you how to cancel a lottery application in case you did it by mistake. If you click on the show in the application status, you'll see this page. To the right, you'll see a gray link where you can cancel the show. There's no penalty for canceling before the lottery results come out, but there is a penalty if you cancel after the results come out and you do win a ticket. The penalty is you'll take a karma hit on your account and it'll make it harder to win shows in the future. When signing up for a group application, it's the same process with one additional step. If you click on this button with the plus sign, you can add companions to your application. You must enter the name, birthday, and gender exactly as is written on their passport/ID. And do that for each member of your group. I think the limit is 4, but I'm not exactly sure. When you apply, you'll get a confirmation in your inbox with information on when the lottery results will be announced. For mobile and Eizo applications, it's 3 days before the show. For general sales, it's 2 days before the show. The time that the results come out vary from as early as 1 p.m. to as late as 8 p.m. For Cancel Omake, it's by 1 p.m. on the day of the show for night shows. For shows that are in the afternoon, the results will come out by 10 p.m. the previous night. They'll send you an email when the results come in, but you can also check the status on your My page by clicking on the Win or Loss tabs. And that's gonna do it for signing up for tickets for NMB48 Theater. If you have any questions about the process, feel free to leave a comment or hit me up on Twitter at SuperMatoWorld. I hope this video was useful to you, and if it was, give it a like to help support the channel. Thanks for watching, and I hope you'll get a chance to see the NMB Theater show soon.